Yo, what's going on today, guys? It's Sam or Samito. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a video I've been wanting to make for a long time. It's something I've tried to record multiple times. I didn't really have the substance to do it. Today, I finally think I do, and I'm going to be providing a lot of solutions, I think, for this game to get out of its massive downhill trend amongst the community, which, you know, newsflash, this game hasn't been doing so well in the eyes of the community. Thanks for the sub, dude. I probably should turn that off, but yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to sub. I stream on the channel Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. EST, but I'm going to play a clip right now that kind of summarizes the misfortune that is Overwatch Ranked to start, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about content and, you know, things the game needs to do to improve. Quick.
You can suck my penis, my guy. You're a ball one trick on Genji, you trash can.
Doing right now.
There's no way. There is no way. We have a ball one trick that plays Genji even though his account is 4.4k. Before Genji, like before ball came out, he literally low masters. Like I don't know what to tell you.
Samito's literally killing at least 2 people at the beginning of every single
know!
fight.
Just like I killed 2 people like the last game and we're still losing because of delay. Yeah, no, I don't know why you would try this shit.
Literally all your DPS are garbage. I'm waiting for you to break since that's literally the only shit.
You are a ball one trick, you're the only person here going ball. Not against
DPS. None of your DPS is actually decent. They're all that level. So get out of this game, trash can.
Hey, what you are right now? Your Genji's not 4.4k and you know you're getting some.
Well, go down, Ross, dude.
Do you think you're copying on Ash? You got a 1 ultimate. Oh, shut up. The entire game.
You are not
literally
a 4.4k Genji.
The moment you went in the
What
game,
is
you
your
were
argument?
avoided because you're fucking garbage.
I don't understand what you're
never
saying.
reached sub 500. Why?
What are you
Because
saying?
you're
I'm gonna win this.
garbage.
Don't give up.
He is skill soldier.
I can't hear.
He's won.
All I hear is I'm a
Oh,
ball.
Metro, shut the fuck up!
We can
You're
win!
so annoying, bro!
I missed.
There you go.
I
Holy
can't even
shit, that kid's a
focus,
retard.
dude. If they
Alright,
could
he's
just
won.
stop talking and let me shoot shit, I can win this for us.
Try to hack ball, he's low.
Please win this.
Doom. Come on.
Dude.
One.
I really don't miss ranked. Me neither. Jane, please tell me you're doing pug still. Dude,
Oh
what do I
my
have
God,
to
this
do to
fucking guy.
win?
No, Metro's garbage. Like I said, no dealing with this guy.
Oh my god, it's so frustrating, dude. Like, oh god, if I could have just hit that ball once, they're all screaming in my ear. It's my fault, dude. I could have won that game for us if I was good, but. So first off, the streamer in that clip was a friend of mine named Metro. I don't think either of those players handled the situation properly, and he is a nice guy. And honestly, I think a lot of the people in this community are nice people, but they're kind of led astray and into frustration because of Blizzard's lack of policies or additions to the game to ensure that people are having a good experience. One thing I want to talk about is Blizzard's hands-off mentality and kind of the way they shift blame to their community. You know, toxicity has been a big talk from Blizzard about the community, how they want to reduce toxicity. They're going to make private profiles, but they've never really asked where the toxicity is coming from. Of course, you know, there's going to be bad apples in every community in the world, and those bad apples deserve to be punished. But, you know, in that clip, for example, you know, that was kind of like, you know, 2 kids fighting. Right? The answer is not necessarily to, you know, ban the kids, but why not actually try to make the features around the game better so that that situation doesn't arise? Let me phrase that better, okay? Let me phrase that better, because obviously that was, you know, poorly handled by those people, but Blizzard likes to cure the symptoms or have you avoid the symptoms rather than cure the actual disease. A lot of the players that are in this community are good people that want to have a competitive, fun experience, but they can't get that in the ranked mode, and like I said, I'm going to talk about ranked a little bit, because A, the matchmaker is absolute garbage, and there's no other way to say it. It just does not function anymore. Overwatch is still a great game. However, the problem with the ranked mode is, as sure as you guys know, you might have Smurfs on your team out of voice chat because it's an alt account and they don't want to try, locking bad heroes and never swapping, or, you know, one tricks on your team, which, by the way, there's no debate here. One tricking is soft throwing. It doesn't matter how good you are at the hero. If one team can counter pick and the other team can't, and now again, I agree, the variance, that disadvantage does vary based on the hero and how good the player is. I agree, but a disadvantage still exists no matter what if you only are going to play one hero and rank no matter what. Not multiple heroes, one hero every time. You're not working around your team, right? In a team-based game, people out of voice chat playing bad heroes, or, you know, one tricks that refuse to swap, like, those people are not doing anything to keep the game competitive. They're actually hindering their team. So Blizzard's mentality is, wow, if these players are rude to someone else who's only doing like playing one hero or who's out of voice chat, the people being toxic are the problem, not the people actually exhibiting the bad behavior that is ruining the ranked game for the other 5 players on their team. And I think that's a mentality that's really, really hurt the game. So the solution to that is, so there are a couple solutions for this. One would be role queue. I think role queue is a good start to the game. I don't like the concept of force 2-2-2. Obviously, Goat's meta has been a problem, and guess what? It's because of Bridget. Well, that's newsflash, everybody. You're only going to see Goats in Overwatch League Stage 2 because Blizzard refuses to acknowledge that Bridget was an unhealthy addition to the game and that she needs to be reworked from the ground up. The same way they did Symmetra, right? There was that whole delete Brig movement, which I thought was silly. Like, she's been introduced to the game, she can't get removed, but she can absolutely be reworked into a healthier kit. And Goats ain't going nowhere, Chief. Sorry about that. It's just gonna be floats instead. So, yeah, we need to see some form of role queue. I'm tired of getting I'm tired of me being like when I'm 4,400, getting multiple 3,900 peak DPS players on my team because Blizzard's killed off the high-rated community for never listening to them and catering towards, you know, lower ranked games, and then even ruining that too with a lot of the Reaper patches and stuff like that, trying to kill Goats. They don't really understand what they're doing with hero balancing, so it really, really does damage the game, and we really need to see that role queue soon, or else, you know, the matches just will literally not be functional. Let's talk about cause and effect as well. People are frustrated because these games don't work, right? Like, these games just don't work. Having 4 DPS players on one team, 0 tanks, and like maybe 1 support or 2 supports is not Overwatch. That's not Overwatch how it's meant to be played. People then get frustrated, and then you know what happens when people get frustrated, Blizzard? They get mad, they get angry. So instead of blaming the players for getting angry and punishing them, how about you look in the mirror and ask yourselves, why are these players frustrated? They're frustrated because they paid for your game, they want to play your game, and your systems are so inconsistent that they never can. So that makes them angry. The next game comes, they butt heads with another player, and then all of a sudden you have a clown fiesta of people arguing, and guess what? It's another throne game. The other 4 players on the team don't want that to happen. They want to win, right? So Blizzard, you know, instead of blaming your community and blaming people, the good people in your community for being toxic, why don't you look in the mirror and take accountability and say, wow, we could prevent this and make our game a higher quality product. We're gonna stop adding features like LFG, LOL, endorsement system, LOL, and actually do something to improve the ranked game mode and ensure that it's high quality. You all are really smart individuals. There's no excuse for this. There's no excuse that ranked has not had any major fundamental changes to improve the quality of matches in the past coming up on 3 years, guys. I mean, again, the first year there were a lot of changes, I'll grant you that, but after season 5, there was nothing. There hasn't been anything effective to improve the game. And then now, ever since then, you guys have been sitting on your rear ends, doing virtually nothing effective. And now, to be fair, you have tried to make some solutions, but I don't know why you don't just address the actual problem, which is the ranked matchmaker not giving people and ensuring people consistently good experiences in your game. It's silly and it needs to change. A lot of people will be less toxic if they got consistently good matches where they actually felt like they were improving as players, which is why the scrim environment is doing fine. Scrims are really, really fun, and playing Overwatch is still really, really fun. The problem is that people never actually get these quality matches to happen because the matchmaker is just never touched. You try to get LFG, but at the end of the day, people don't want to have to go looking for a group when they can just queue into the matchmaker. Fix the matchmaker, that's your first priority. Number 2. Ranked needs to be competitive. Stop catering your ranked game mode to a casual audience. Reward the players who work as a team, who actively come with their team, and not by some phony endorsement system that doesn't mean anything, right? If you really want to reward these players, get the people that don't take the game seriously out of ranked. If people want to one-trick a hero, they shouldn't play ranked. It's soft throwing. If one team can counterpick and the other team can't, why should that one player's experience ruin the experience for the rest of their team because they only want to play one hero, they only want to play Junkrat on attack on Horizon Lunar Colony while they're playing a bunker comp and just turbo feed for 4 straight minutes. That doesn't belong in ranked. If you're not willing to work with your team, whether it be in voice chat, swapping heroes, ranked Overwatch is not the place for you. because you're gonna ruin the experience for the people playing it properly. Blizzard's mentality for the past 2 years has been to protect the people who ruin the experience for everyone else, and then ban the people who get mad and flame them. No wonder people are upset, Blizzard. You're not actually ensuring that competitive matches are played in the competitive mode. And you know what? It's not always this one trick's fault. Or you know, people Smurfs out of voice chat who just want to play casually and quick play sucks. Right? It's not their fault that quick play sucks and they can't get a good experience playing quick play. It's not their fault that quick play, you know, there aren't any other places than ranked to play to actually get a good experience playing the game. I think a good solution to that would be, and again, I don't want to just call out problems without providing solutions. There should be a quick ranked mode where it's the competitive rule set, but without rank. And there's hidden MMR the same way that quick play works, so that people can actually practice good heroes and practice working as a team without the stress of the ranked environment, ensuring that the casual ranked players have a place to actually play that's not quick play. It's safe to say that quick play is just a joke. Like, it's literally like, it doesn't even function as Overwatch. It's not Overwatch as we know it. Everybody knows that, and it hasn't been touched for 2 years. If you're attacking, you have a big advantage over the defenders, and it's truly not a good experience to actually play Overwatch. It's just a place to mess around with friends when you don't actually want to, you know, work hard and try to improve. Which is fine, that's great, but there's such a lack of game modes that no one really knows what to do. So everyone funnels into ranked and ruins the ranked mode for people who want to play the game competitively, which has caused many players and content creators on top of that / streamers to just quit the game because it's just not a fun experience anymore. Right? And it's on you, Blizzard, to step up and fix that, not your community. It's not your community's fault that they're toxic or they're getting mad. It's your fault because in terms of cause and effect, your lack of policies and additions to the game and consistent balance patches to the game have angered your loyal community who want to have the proper experience playing your game. It is not their fault. Right? Obviously, they're accountable for their actions. True, I agree. But you have the ability to stop them from happening in the first place and prevent these problems from happening. And you don't do it. That's on you. Okay? Stop shifting the blame to your community when you have the ability to solve these problems and ensure that these matches are quality. You don't solve anything by doing that. And you guys are really smart people, which is why it's inexcusable. You're one of the best studios in the world, and yet you can't make a basic matchmaker that can give you consistently good matches more than 50% of the time, and at least in my rank? There's just no excuse for that. You guys are too talented. You're too good. That's another solution you can make right there. There you go. Ensure that the ranked matches are quality ranked matches. Get the casual ranked players out of ranked and stop letting players play ranked casually and not be willing to work as a team. At least, you know, in a team-based game, as you all do say, so. Now let's talk about casual content, okay? You know, this game hasn't really had any new events recently, right? The only new event that gets new stuff every year is Archives. Everything else is kind of recycled with a couple new skins. That's gonna drive away a casual audience when, at the end of the day, Blizzard, Overwatch is competing with Fortnite and Apex, and you know what? Apex and Fortnite are kicking Blizzard's ass right now. I mean, there's no workarounds to that, right? These games are free to play, for one, which I'll talk about in a little bit. You know, before you freak out about me saying Overwatch should go free to play, I'm just gonna tell you right now, if somebody's like, oh, there's gonna be so many Smurfs, cell phone verification required to play ranked, we're gonna debate that later. Just, you know, keep your socks on. But these games are consistently putting updates, and not to mention, Apex is literally adding new heroes targeted at the release date for when Blizzard's putting out patch updates and stuff. These guys are running you all, they're giving you the waterworks, okay? Fortnite not only is free to play, but it's getting consistent updates every week, and they have a supported creator program. They're directly supporting every content creator. They're ensuring that there's new content every week. There's new progression and reward system, you know, every season. While you guys aren't doing anything at all between seasons. You're not putting in the work. Put in the work to see this product succeed. Like we said, you all are, look at how beautiful this game is, man. This is the most beautiful game ever made. In my opinion, you have diverse characters with amazing lore, amazing cosmetics, one of the best optimized games of all time, if not the best optimized game of all time. And yet, we can't even get consistent updates when everyone else is updating every week on their free product? Come on. You all are better than that. The reason why it's so frustrating is that Blizzard, guys, we know how talented Blizzard is. This company's amazing. And you cannot argue that this company is not brilliant and talented and so gifted. I just feel like they've lost their sense of direction. And honestly, that comes down to Jeff Kaplan, I think. I think that's on Jeff Kaplan, where he's such a smart guy. How has this game lost all sense of its purpose? Why are we not directly addressing issues and actively working to fix them? The only thing that Overwatch has done really well is the Overwatch League, which is brilliant and brilliantly done, amazing marketing, amazing franchise, but it doesn't matter how good the league is if the actual product and the foundation of the league, which is the game itself, is just left in shambles and never addressed. We barely ever see balance patches in this game, even in metas that are broken, like Goat's meta, Bridget, which needs to get vaulted and reworked. Her character design is just really, really poor. And by the way, everybody, I know everyone's thinking that they're gonna nerf Goats and that Goats is finally dead. Let me give you a little secret. It's not going anywhere. Until Bridget gets reworked and vaulted and reworked, Goats is not going to go anywhere. It doesn't matter. Like the answer to Blizzard's problems, and this is a big problem that I think Blizzard has had with balance, is like instead of nerfing the problems, they like to buff the counters, which leads to a lot of power creep in the game. Which, you know, after Goats gets nerfed, Sombra's gonna be broken because instead of nerfing Goats, they gave Sombra permanent invisibility, like a kid that literally has no answer to it. I can't wait to run Sombra 24/7. It's gonna be really fun. But if something's wrong, and you know what? Okay, that's fine. Bridget was obviously a mistake upon her release. Like, you can't argue that. Like, she was OP from the start. She still is too good for too little reward. That's obvious. Mistakes happen, even though that shouldn't have, because everyone's telling you no. But okay, let's just say it happens. Why was it still broken and left in the game for so long? Why was it not addressed quickly? What are you all doing instead of updating your game and consistently listening to the community? Right? The problem is not only that mistakes happen, is that they never get corrected. And if they do get corrected, it takes too long. Then that leads to people being frustrated with the game. Then they play ranked, they get frustrated, and guess what? They get mad. Why do they get mad? Oh, well, maybe because the game doesn't get updated. Then Blizzard comes in and is like, oh yeah, well, our community's really toxic and you guys need to stop being toxic. Wow, I wonder why these people are frustrated. I mean, come on now. They're frustrated because you don't give the game the attention and love that it deserves. And you leave your community hanging and, you know, they feel like they're left in the dark. And it's such a frustrating thing to play with. And an answer to that, I think, would be just consistent updates. Like, Blizzard, stop being lazy. There's no excuses anymore. Like, these other game studios are pumping out updates every week and they're doing it really consistently. Are you telling me that they're better than you? You're supposed to be, you know, you're a publicly traded company, Activision Blizzard. You're the best brass out there. You're telling me that you can't compete with Fortnite, a Battle Royale, or Apex? You're just gonna let them run you over. You're too good for this. You're way too good for this, man. I just disagree with that. We need more consistent updates. You know, we need these developers and these game designers to really step it up, and just try to push more consistent updates. It's not as tough as you might think. You know, I don't know. I think that's kind of all I wanted to cover in terms of ranting about the game and, you know, issues about the game, how Blizzard kind of needs to have a more hands-on approach for sure. I want to talk a little bit more about solutions to bring life back to this game and really get this game back on top. One, this game needs to go free to play. Now, before you freak out and you're like, oh my god, infinite Smurfs, oh my god. First of all, console players, there already is infinite Smurfs on consoles, which, believe me, is BS. Okay, that's a problem. But here's how you fix it for PC, and here's what free to play will do. You need cell phone verification to play ranked, okay? That way, the amount of Smurfs that you actually see in ranked will go down, right, guys? So, like, I know a lot of you all complain about Smurfs ruining your matches. If people can only really play on their main with one phone number, because right now, you can just buy another account and do whatever you want. It'd be harder to get Smurfs in game with a phone number verification, right? On top of that, if more people are playing on their mains and ranked, it's gonna mean more people are gonna wanna try. If more people are trying, they're not gonna be as toxic, because guess what? You get banned on your main. Is that a green screen showing? I didn't even realize that was there. I'm so sorry. But, wait, no, that's my stool. But if people are only playing on their mains, it means it's gonna be less toxic, okay? Because they can't say stuff because they know they'll get banned. They'll actually get punished. Right now, they just go on and all and they're fine. So you'll have more quality matches. People want to try more, okay? On top of that, you have an influx of new players who will come because the game is free. The biggest competitions for Overwatch right now are Fortnite and Apex, right? If those games are free, how can Blizzard compete when trying to get new users? Your product's paid. Like, you can't. You literally can't. So going free to play would bring a ton of new users to the game. It would decrease the amount of Smurfs in ranked. And on top of that, it would increase the quality of matches because Blizzard could easily, you know, actually ban trolls and throwers and whatever a lot easier because, you know, they'd have to verify their phone rather than just buying a new account in the first place, right? Which, you know, you can't get infinite phone numbers nearly as easily. Or, you know, and if you can, we can have some form of secondary verification as well. That would just be one of the verifications. And, you know, everybody wins. On top of that, Blizzard will make more revenue because if you think about it, chat, or viewers, I guess, I don't know. Think about how Fortnite makes their money off cosmetics. Overwatch's cosmetics are way better than every other cosmetic for any other game out there. They look phenomenal. You can't, like, Fortnite and Apex have proven that the model works, right? So that would definitely be a good addition. Think about how many loot boxes you bought when the game started too, because I bought a lot. I bought a ton. If it brings new users, it helps the community. It brings more creators because there's more people wanting to watch the game. Therefore, more content creators come back. Then maybe add a support a creator program as well, where, you know, discount codes for creators in the shop for loot boxes and stuff like that. Give your creators an incentive to stay around, because right now, newsflash, Blizzard's not really doing anything at all. Right? Like, think about it. What has Blizzard done? Nothing. Y'all aren't putting in the effort while your competition are putting in the effort and you are not. You're not even playing the same game. And it kind of is shameful. Like, to be honest, like, the reason why it's shameful is because, like I said, I know I sound like a broken record. Blizzard, you are too freaking good at your jobs. You're too smart. You guys are way too smart to let this happen, and that's why it's so disappointing. It's like me in high school, right? Except, you know, hopefully you don't have the same results as I had in high school. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's like I could have been an A student, but I was happy with B's and C's. Like, and this is the real world, not high school. So don't make the same mistake I did, Blizzard. Go for those A's. Go for those A's. Okay, don't go for this. Don't settle for the B or the C. So yeah, free to play. Support a creator program, consistent balance patches, and Overwatch League player council to help with balancing. The game the Blizzard developers or game designers just aren't good at game balance anymore. Like they aren't consistent and they haven't done a good job. Right? They're batting about 500. For every good change that Blizzard makes, there's a change that's just like, why did you do this? And I know this game can never be perfectly balanced, but with Bridget being in the game the way she is for so long, and them desperately trying to you know, buff everything else in the game to nerf goats, I think that has really made a lot of power creep in the game and led to more problems than solutions. Because the current game design's mentality, or, you know, maybe not hire new people or work with new people, but definitely change the mentality. Because obviously these people are competent, that's why they have their jobs, they're smart, right? But the mentality needs to change from buff the counter to nerf the problem, okay? Because you continuously buff the counter, you just make more problems. So when Goats finally goes away, which, you know, it's gonna take till after Stage 2, because they've tried to do this before Stage 2, but unfortunately, you know, it's just not happening. So, you know, it sucks to suck, but, you know, Sombra's gonna be broken. And then after that, you know, they're just gonna buff, instead of nerfing Sombra, they might buff something else to, like, get rid of her. You know, the answer to dive was not Bridget, it was to nerf D.Va and Tracer, okay? D.Va enables dive so much. How about you nerf some of the dive heroes instead of buffing and adding this ridiculously broken character to try and get rid of it and then ruin the high level play for a year to make so many people just quit the game? It's just silly, man. It's just silly. So, like, you know, an Overwatch League player council or coaching council, where each Overwatch League team has a direct link or connection to the you know, Blizzard staff and designers to give feedback about what would happen to the game. A lot of people say, like, this really, really dumb argument, which, like, actually makes me want to jump out my window. It's this stupid. It's like, oh my god, pro players are gonna ruin the game for lower ranked players. What? First of all, Blizzard's already messed up your game. They gave Reaper 50% lifesteal. Hello? That broke your game. You guys were bitching about that, and guess what? Guess what a pro player would have done? They wouldn't have buffed Reaper like that. The Reaper, they would have realized that the reason why Reaper is bad against Goats is because Goats is too strong, not Reaper is bad. Bridget is in the game, she can stun him, and if you can run Brig, that means you get away with running Zen, because Brig provides AoE healing, which means you don't need a strong heal like Ana or Moira, which can't stop Reaper, but you can run Zen, which can kill him on top of your stun, okay? Brig is the problem with that. Okay, so if you vault Bridget or rework her, right? Reaper doesn't need 50% lifesteal to be effective. It didn't do anything. First off, it didn't do anything to high rate level play. It just broke the game for you. So first of all, your game is already broken. Second of all, to use the argument that, oh, high rated players or pro players will just, you know, ruin the game for us because they don't understand how the game's played at our level. What? How do you think they were able to get out of your level? They understood how to play, and then they beat it. They were better than it, right? So they understand the consequences of every patch and balance. They understand what their heroes would do. And besides, the balance doesn't matter nearly as much in lower ranks anyway, because everyone makes so many mistakes that you can get away with any hero if you simply know how to play it. In higher ranks, the room for error, so like the margin for error is so high at lower ranks that, you know, a lot of heroes can be effective and be played. But the highest level of play, you know, that's not the case, because everyone can play their hero to the maximum potential, so hard counters do exist. But lower ranks, you know, it's not as true. So I don't know. I don't see how having experts on a subject providing direct input to make sure the subject is done properly is a problem. I don't see why you'd complain about someone. It's like saying, why would you have someone who doesn't understand physics working at NASA? Why would you have someone who doesn't understand economics work at the Federal Reserve? Why not just grab some random person off the street and do it? Like, it's just a silly argument. So having a pro players or coaches, or like, imagine Jane working on hero balance. I don't see a problem with that. And if you see a problem with that, please don't ever go into game design. But yeah, player council, more consistent game balancing. I think that's it. Is that it? I kind of vented about everything. Let me know what your thoughts about this down in the description or in the comments. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. Like, I, for one, am so optimistic about this game. We just need to see some changes in the Blizzard. Like, you guys are getting run through the mud. Your game looks like a freaking joke compared to everything else that's out there. Like, please don't let your game die. I love this game. I really want to continue to play this game. I love scrimming. I have a good time. I'm in Brig Jail right now as the flex DPS, so... yeah, not fun. I don't want to debate game balance, though, in the description. I just want to talk about what you guys feel like your problems are for Overwatch. So, I gotta go. I got scrims in like 5 minutes. So, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.